This episode is brought to you by Gamefly. What is going on, Internet? I am Scott Bromley, and behind me is the set of my new show, Scott Bromley's Internet Rabbit Hole, which starts in 2014, but we're here to talk about 2013. Now, before I start with my top 5 of 2013, I want to preface this by saying it's not a best of list at all. I mean, come on, let's be serious for a second. They're kind of boring and repetitive. I mean, how many more 2013 wrap-ups can you watch where people waxing poetic about BioShock Infinite and Last of Us? Now, don't get me wrong, those games are incredible and deserve all the praise being heaped on them, but I wanted to do something different for my top 5 list. Plus, I've only been officially working on the games team here at Rev3 Games for the past 3 months. That's why I decided to list my top 5 games I couldn't stop playing in 2013. Also because it's my list, some of the games didn't even come out in 2013. They just had a ton of new content added that kept me coming back for more. So without further ado, and in no particular order, here's my top 5 games I couldn't stop playing in 2013. The first game, I feel almost ashamed admitting that I literally spent every single day of 2013 playing, but it's important to acknowledge that you have addictions, and since we're all friends here, I feel like I can come out and say it. The one game I've played more than anything else this year was The Simpsons Tapped Out. Released in March of 2012, The Simpsons Tapped Out exploded this year with tons of additional content, characters, and quests every month, which allowed the game to evolve and kept it fresh every single day. Of particular note were events like Whacking Day or Halloween that required you to check in with the game every few hours to farm snakes and ghosts in the hopes of unlocking more buildings and characters, which would in turn open up more quests to complete. On more than one occasion this year, I kind of felt like Michael Corleone in The Godfather Part 3 screaming at my iPhone, "Just when I thought I was out, they pull me back in!" It was a terrible impression. But the game is totally worth it, especially since it's free and is a great time waster, especially if you commute to and from work like I do. Plus, if you're like me and haven't actually watched The Simpsons in over a decade, the game is still great because the writers seem to know this and only reference episodes and characters from the series' glory days.
I spent $1,000? Oh well, I'll just tell them that my kid did it and get a refund.
Next up is a game that actually did end up on a ton of Game of the Year lists for 2013, Grand Theft Auto 5. Sure, I could talk about how great the different characters are, how awesome the story is, but if I'm gonna be totally honest, I've barely seen any of it. To put it bluntly, I can't stop fucking around in this game. Rockstar finally figured out what people like me love about the series, the vast open world, and just unlocked everything right from the start. So without the rigmarole of having to complete quests to unlock sections like Blaine County gone, you can just jump in and start exploring, which is exactly what I've done for weeks on end. Whether it be riding a roller coaster, watching a movie, or hijacking a sailboat only to jump ship and fist fight a shark, the game offers so much more to explore than just completing your character's objectives and side quests. Plus, nothing beats driving around in a beat-up pickup truck listening to Jesco White DJing on Outlaw Country, or going to a strip club to help a struggling single mother pay for her kids' Lunchables. Also, tennis.
Here, darling, why don't you go get yourself something nice, okay?
Thank you. Is this $7?
Moving on, if you haven't picked up Rayman Legends yet, I want you to stop this video, go on Amazon, and buy it. But not just one copy, buy 10 additional copies for your friends and family, because the most video game-ass video game of the last year is going unplayed. The visuals alone are worth the price of admission, as Rayman Legends is hands down the most gorgeous game of the year. Any still frame of this game could be hanging on the wall of an art museum. Couple that with some of the tightest controls for a platformer not made by Nintendo and incredible co-op, and you have yourself not only one of the best, most replayable games of 2013, but one of the best games of all time. And while I'm talking about gorgeous platformers, if you didn't play Guacamelee this year, you're doing video games wrong. Guacamelee itself is oozing with charm, and the gameplay is reminiscent of the early Metroid games, but what kept me coming back was Guacamelee's art direction and animation. Now, some of you out there are probably saying, "But Scott, I thought this was a list of games you couldn't stop playing. I beat Guacamelee in a couple of hours." And while yes, the game is super short, I kept on coming back just to look at it. As an animation nerd, everything in this game just plain works. From Juan's run cycle to his brilliant mid-air combat poses, Guacamelee is a visual treat. Finally, we come to the game that holds a very special place in my heart, the Pinball Arcade. Now, if you follow me on Twitter or stalk me on Facebook, you'll know I talk about pinball a lot. I'm in a pinball league in San Francisco, I own and restore my own personal pinball machines, and I've been known to spend my lunch breaks at the bar across the street from the studio playing pinball. It's one of the few things in life that I'm ridiculously passionate about. So it's a no-brainer. I couldn't stop playing Pinball Arcade this year. And just like the Simpsons Tapped Out, Pinball Arcade didn't actually come out in 2013, but in 2013, the game started its second season, and with it, Farsight Studios added 1 to 2 new tables per month, ranging from rare games like Haunted House and Cactus Canyon to super popular titles like Terminator 2 and Whirlwind. Plus, full season passes unlock videos and documentaries that would teach you how to actually play pinball better in real life. I actually prefer Pinball Arcade over Zen and Pinball FX games. Physics feel better, but since the games are actually designed by pinball legends like Steve Ritchie and Pat Lawler, the playfields have a remarkable sense of flow, something that isn't always apparent in the Zen design tables. And just like Tapped Out, Pinball Arcade is free-ish, meaning one table is always unlocked for free each month, with the additional tables available to play for free up to a certain paywall. Now here's a fun little cheat code. If you aren't particularly good at the game, you can more than likely play through all 3 balls on any table before you hit the paywall. I absolutely love this game and play every night as practice to learn the rules and tricks for tables I'll have to play during league night.
Ready, set, draw!
I didn't like that deadbeat anyway.
So there you have it. That was my list. 2013 sure was a year. I can't wait to read your comments on YouTube saying I'm not hardcore because I play Simpsons Farmville and pinball, or that I'm not funny. Well, joke's on you, America. I wasn't trying to be funny. So there. Subscribe to the channel. Bye! And with that, let's take a moment to thank our sponsor, Gamefly. Gamefly is the largest online video game rental service and offers you a choice from over 8,000 new and classic titles across all consoles and handhelds. Plans start at just $15.95 a month, and members can rent 1 to 4 games at a time and keep them for as long as they like. Once you're done playing, just send it back and Gamefly will send you the next available game on your list. You can support Rev3 Games and get a free 15-day trial when you sign up at gamefly.com/Rev3Games.